Aaron, what's going on, dude?
What's going on, John?
Not much.
I got a potential person that wants to lease a property, but she has enough for the lease option fee. But she says she wants to live in it for a couple months just to see if she likes it.
Mhm.
So I don't know. I don't know about her.
All right. Do you have other bites on it?
Um, n- Not really. Um, Seems like the lease option fee is the main issue.
And how much are you trying to get for the option fee?
I'm not even trying to get a lot, just 5,000.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Where's the property at?
it's in Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah, 5,000 shouldn't be a hard number to get out of Columbus. If you're having pushback on that, it might be what you're advertising it or how you're advertising it, or what your talk thread is or your script is when you are talking to the tenant buyer.
Mhm.
Um, and not getting the right information up front and presenting it properly. It could be.
That's probably my closing skills.
Okay. Yeah. And it's different because on lease option stuff, you're really not even closing it. You're acting all on emotion. And I'll give you a prime example. We had just how many properties? 6 properties, something like that, 5 or 6 properties. So our leasing agent left and decided to go do something different. Actually, they were our dispo person. And we had another leasing agent prior to him, and some of these same properties were still in effect that they weren't being sold. It's like, I'm going, how is this happening? And I wasn't keeping my thumb on it the way I should have. And when he left, Kirsten and I took over the properties. I said, I'll jump back in and I will deal with it. And Kirsten says, well, I'll jump in and let's see what's going on with it. So we did. In the first week, we sold what, 2 or 3 properties? 3 properties. And we have another one that's probably sold this week. I'll find out tomorrow. Kirsten's out on a medical deal with her doctors. So, but she's already got the applications and everything in. So now I'm down to 2 properties. And these properties have been sitting for months empty and costing me hundreds of thousands of dollars. And it doesn't, we couldn't figure out why. And it's a matter that we went back, and as we're talking to some of the old clients that had called in, we're finding that the script that we had given these leasing agents was not even being used. They didn't even know it was a lease option. Half of them didn't even know there was an option fee involved in it. So they weren't doing anything with these properties. And it's actually an easy sell because you're dealing with emotion. And once you get through that emotion, and you get that built up and get them going out there and looking at that property, it's usually not a big problem unless there's issues with the property. So I have a property in Akron, Ohio. The property has issues, and I know it has issues. In fact, we got a maintenance guy out there that's going to start working on it because I can't get it sold because there's too many issues. So I will start fixing them, and I usually don't do that. All the other properties, not a problem. It's just a matter of getting the right person in there and get them sold. Um, do you have the course?
I do.
So the script is in there.
Right. I use that script.
Okay. And it's a matter of finding out up front. Some of the first things I talk about is, how many people are going to be living there.
Mhm.
Great. There's 5 people. How many adults? How many kids? Okay, 2 adults. Great. How soon you need to move? What's the reason for moving? What's your living circumstances right now? Because you're trying to find out if they're living with somebody or in an apartment. I had one person in a hotel because they had just moved there and just hadn't found a house yet. So you're just trying to find out what their situation is. Then you're trying to find out, tell me a little bit about your employment and income. You're trying to basically pre-qualify them, how long they've been on the job, and do they make enough money? And we always look at 2.5 times the rent on a gross basis, not net take home, but on a gross basis, 2.5 times the rent. And at that point, now you have them pre-qualified. Now what we have them do is we let them know that it's a self-guided tour. And are you doing self-guided tours or are you showing the property?
I'm showing it.
Okay. Which is fine. If that's the case, I mean, you got to be at their beck and call. When they want to go, you go. You don't set it around your schedule, you set it around their schedule. Part of what we look at too is, and I don't know if it's in the course or not, I can get it to you. There's like 3 or 4 different levels of people. One of them's just a renter, which doesn't work. You're not asking for a lot of option fee up front. So it's usually, we don't even tell them what the option fee is. Basically, what I say is when I'm talking to a tenant buyer, I talk to them and say, hey, if you and your wife go out there and fall in love with this house and can't live without it, how much money do you have today to move in? And I shut up and listen.
Mm-hmm.
And I wait for them to give me a number. I've had people come back. I had one person today. Well, I've got about $25,000. Okay, great. That'll work fine. And then I go on into what we're doing and how we do it. Now, are you planning on taking these to the point that if they exercise their option, you're going to turn it into seller finance like I do? Or did you have another exit strategy?
No, I plan to seller finance it.
Okay.
Lease.
Okay. Perfect. So that's what I talked to them about. So I even go into more depth to educate them that, you know, we do a 5-year term. We do the 5-year term because, and we do the 5-year term typically if they have bad credit. So if there's charge-off, derogatories, or collections, it's going to be a 5-year term. If they've got okay credit and don't have any of those, then I'll do a 3-year term. Okay. Most of them are 5 because most of it's credit. So you have to get them through the SAFE Act. To get them through the SAFE Act, and I tell them that at the end of the term, when you exercise your option, we turn it into seller finance. My company will become the bank for you. So you don't have to go to another mortgage company or another bank, pay all the discount fees, all the origination fees, all the garbage fees that they charge you. I don't charge any of those. My rates are about the same of what the banks are, and we can set up the term whatever is comfortable for both of us. And I leave it at that. Then I turn around and I start saying, to get there, though, I have to get you through the SAFE Act, which was put into effect in 2008 by the federal government when the banks were taking advantage of residential homeowners. And I get to talking about that. So to get through the SAFE Act, I have to have 2 years of employment history. At the same time, you need to be working at that job for 2 years. If it's the same profession, just a different company, sometimes they will accept that as long as it's the same exact job. They're going to look at your credit. They want to see no charge-off, derogatories, or collections in a 2-year consistent period. So typically, if you have bad credit, it's going to take you 3 years to fix it, 2 to 3 years. And then you got to have 2 years consistent of good credit. Then they're going to look at your income. Do you have enough income? Well, at this point in time, yes, you do. Otherwise, I wouldn't have you move into the house. Then they're going to look at rental history or mortgage payments. And they want a 2-year history of that. So because you're renting or leasing from us, I'm able to produce that to the third-party underwriter. So now we have all this put together to give to the third-party underwriter. They're going to have you do a 10013B application to get approved. Once you're approved, you'll either be approved, it'll be conditional, or you're denied. I'm not going to send you that direction because I have to pay for that application up front. It's $125 out of my pocket. So I want to make sure you're at least going to qualify or be contingent on something. So at that point, you're going to fill out this application. You're going to send them all your information that they ask for, your pay stubs, all that. You will get either a conditional approval or approved. At that point, we can move forward with the seller financing and we'll turn it into an agreement for sale or contract for deed or whatever, depending on what state you're in. So that's how I go about talking to them about it. And I build up the anticipation that, hey, I'm going to be a homeowner and we're going to be the bank for you. Then I get them to go out and take a look at it. If you're meeting them, great, go meet them. You really want them to really look at the house themselves, not with you standing over them. So a lot of times I'll walk in, I will introduce myself, I'll get them through the front door. At that point, you know what? Feel free, go take a look around. I'll just hang out here and let you do your own thing. And what I'm really doing is I'm watching what they're doing. If they fall in love with the house, you will see the wife all of a sudden start placing furniture somewhere, or saying, "Oh, this will be Johnny's room, and this will be Denise's room," scenario, and they'll start placing the people in the different rooms. Now you know you have a good hook, and they're in, and you just keep selling it. But you sell all this up front before you ever go out there. If they come back and say, "Well, I only have $3,000 to move in," if you're comfortable doing it, and in Columbus, I might be, depending on how long I've had the house, then I could put them on the option fee assistance program. I'll let you pay $3,000 down. I'll let you move in. Then your lease payment will be your next payment. And then there'll be a small option fee payment that will go with your lease payment the following month. Will something like that work for you? And you're waiting for a yes or a no. And that way, at least you're getting them in the door. They have a little bit of skin in the game with the 3,000, not a lot. What are you asking for rent on it?
1,200.
Okay. So it's more than double. It's not a deposit. I think what's Ohio? 1.5 times the rent is what a deposit can be, something like that. So you're way over that. So it doesn't count as a deposit. It is a true option fee. And I always talk to them about the cool thing about the option fee is it gets applied to the purchase price. You are becoming a pre-owner of the property. You are not a renter. You are a tenant buyer. So if you want to redecorate the house, the kids' rooms want to be painted, you want to have animals, you can, because you're not renting the house. And I make sure I reiterate that 2 or 3 times, because they still think they're renting because of the lease. They're not. They are a tenant buyer. So they need to know that they're stepping up to the plate. You have a renter, you have a lease option person, and then you have a person that actually owns houses and gets mortgages. They are in that in-between area, and that's the clientele or the avatar you're going after.